Hey, what's up, guys? So actually getting to this movie review thing a little more timely. Even though I still watched the movie opening night, I just waited super long to do Superman. But Fantastic Four, watched it in IMAX. Off the bat, is it a good movie? I would say it's one of the better MCU movies for sure. Walking out of the theater, I did watch it in IMAX, and it made me wish that I watched Superman in IMAX instead. But that's not saying Fantastic Four is bad. It's just I preferred Superman a lot more. I felt like a lot of the inter-character relationships were a little better in Superman, and the story was a little cleaner in a lot of places, and I cared more about everyone in Superman. There was just a lot that I feel Superman did better. I feel like those big action sequences would have looked better in IMAX than Fantastic Four First Step's big action sequences looked. When I walked out, I did have a higher opinion of Fantastic Four than I do now. As it has sat with me and stuck with me, when I look back, it's not quite as favorable towards it. Mainly, a lot of my problems are with Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards himself, played by Pedro Pascal, which I was super hesitant. I love Pedro Pascal. He's great in everything he's in. But man, I don't know why, there was just something about Pedro Pascal's body stretching on a big screen that really scared me. And watching the movie, I didn't have a problem with it. Generally, the stretching looked pretty decent. But you can tell that Disney and Marvel Studios, for some reason, just don't like stretching powers. I was watching the Ms. Marvel Disney Plus series. I stopped halfway through it because a big part of it was she doesn't have her fucking powers. They got rid of her stretchy limbs in favor of light projection, which looked super cheap and bad. But she wasn't allowed to stretch, I guess, because they were working on Fantastic Four and didn't want two people with similar powers. Whatever, I guess. My personal conspiracy theory is they just don't they don't have the creative ability to make interesting action sequences with someone that can stretch for some reason, I guess, which is kind of crazy to me because I'm not a One Piece watcher, but every clip I've seen, every page I've seen from the manga and stuff, Luffy's doing crazy shit every time. I was a kid when the 2000s Fantastic Four movies came out. I was 3 or 4 when the first one came out. Reed was doing cool shit. And then in this, he stretches maybe 8 times, and it's never anything crazy. It's just... I don't want to get too into spoilers, but that is something that really bothers me. Reed did not use his powers nearly enough. He was just oh, I'm smart, that's my power. Actually, autism is my superpower, was just kind of the vibe it gave. And it's that is part of Mr. Fantastic, you know. It's a large part of it, is his intelligence, and his, the fact that he probably is autistic. That is a big part of who Reed Richards is. But also him being able to stretch his body around is a big part of his identity as Mr. Fantastic, the superhero that stretches his body around. I do want to get into some of the positives, and one of those being that Galactus is an actual threat and an actual being of size and stuff. That's pretty cool. But more positives here. Johnny Storm isn't just an idiot. That's pretty cool. Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, isn't just the wife of Reed Richards and just on the team. She is the most powerful person on the team, excluding Franklin. I would say, if you don't want anything spoiled, stop watching now. I might get into some. Just trying to watch myself. But Invisible Woman being the most powerful of like the base 4 members of Fantastic Four. Excellent. Great. The way it should be. Thank you. Thank you, Marvel. You understood the character for a second. The relationship between Johnny and Ben. The best has ever been on screen. I love the old 2005 Fantastic Four movies. They're a little bad. Super corny and cheesy. But they're part of my childhood. Okay, you gotta understand that. Johnny was way too mean to Ben all the time. Like, constantly. Now, in the new one, they have a more sibling-like relationship, which I very much enjoy. Ben Grimm, honestly, highlighted the movie for me. I loved the Thing in this movie. Usually, he's kind of just a brutish... not necessarily... He's usually portrayed as smarter than Johnny, but sometimes they play up, he's a big rock, he can't be that smart. He's just a big brute. And in this, they're like, no, he's a kind-hearted person. He's Ben Grimm. He's the most human person on the team. He's probably the most relatable person. And the most, like, you know, the best person on the superhero team. It just so happens that he's a giant rock. And I absolutely love the Thing's story in this. This is a little bit of a joke. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I think they did, like, allusions to the story of Samson with the Thing. Look, this is a little bit of spoilers. They show a lot of it in the trailer, so it's whatever. But, So you know the story of Samson, the guy in the Bible, or I guess just Abrahamic religions, that God was like, he told his mom never to cut his hair and he'll grow strong. You know? And his hair was cut and he is imprisoned. He grew his hair back and he tore down a building. You know, that type of thing. Well, the Thing grows out his beard. Then goes to the synagogue to talk to this woman he's been flirting with a little, only in like two other scenes in the movie. Talks to her, you know, the beard has grown in, and in the battle with Galactus, tears down pillars of this is in the trailer, tears down the pillars holding up a building in New York City to stop Galactus. Am I reading into it too much and seeing something that isn't there? Probably. But you know, one could say that it is a reference, an allusion to the story of Samson, I guess. Anyways, that was just a stupid thing that popped into my head. Yeah. I feel like there's a ton of stuff to talk about, but it's just like, it doesn't feel like most Marvel movies, but at the same time, you can tell that the formula isn't like out of it, you know? Like it still feels like a Marvel movie, although aesthetically it isn't, and that is super refreshing. It doesn't look like every other Marvel movie. The effects look much better than a lot of other movies. Oh yeah, one stupid thing I had a problem with, and it was with Invisible Woman. I do like that she is portrayed as the most powerful member of the team, quite often. But, man, the faces she makes when she uses her powers, I'm gonna be honest, sometimes it feels a little demeaning to her, because she's obviously the most powerful one. She's able to hold back Galactus, a planet-eating force of the universe. And that is a big struggle for her. That makes sense. So why is holding a sign up, a 7-Up sign, so hard? Why does she have to mog it? Like, she is mewing so hard when she does that. That clip from the trailer where she's serving, you know? why? And she does it a few other times when she's doing things with her powers. They don't seem to be easy for her, which I'm not saying that everything should be easy for Sue Storm, but like, come on. This is her telekinetic abilities and her force fields, her invisibility. These are all like in her DNA at this point. Johnny can absorb fire. He can turn his body into fire. He can do all these things with fire super easily. As long as he has access to the things that make fire. Reed can stretch. He doesn't do it often. He doesn't. But Sue seems like she has the easiest time using her powers when she's emotional sometimes. And it's like, I'm sure if you had some innate superpowers, you know, in your DNA as a part of who you are genetically, I'm sure they would, from time to time, express themselves in an emotional moment. But that felt like generally the times where she was the most in tune with them. And it's like, maybe I'm reading it wrong, you know? But sometimes it just felt like she was trying too hard to do things that at other points in the movie seem like these are easy things for her to do, and she does them routinely. And then she gets a little emotional, and things change. And at the end, her holding back Galactus, the emotional stakes there. And it's not just emotional stakes, it's just everything is on the table here, you know? And she does what needs done, and that makes sense. But it's just like, come on. Just from time to time. Just, I don't... Whatever. But yeah, the suits look better in the movie than I thought they would. I was pleasantly surprised by Fantastic Four. I do fully expect all the good stuff I have said about this movie, especially the characters, to kind of be screwed up by the Russo brothers in Doomsday. I fully expect it to happen. So, there's that, I guess. But, as a standalone movie, Fantastic Four is one of the better Marvel movies made, maybe ever, because it actually gets to stand on its own and be its own thing, which is not really a thing in Marvel anymore. So, you know, if you're looking to start watching Marvel movies like you haven't already, this is probably a good place to start, being that it feels like it's a starting place, almost. You'll be confused going forward if you don't go back, but, yep, there you go. Fantastic Four out of 10. Maybe a... Yeah, let's give it a 7.5. I give Superman an 8.5. Still best movie of the year, in my opinion, is Sinners. That 9.9, maybe a 10. Genuinely loved that movie, start to stop. Only thing I think coming up that could possibly beat it is Weapons, possibly. I'm not big on horror movies, but it has piqued my interest, and it's getting massively glowing reviews, and the whole Jordan Peele stuff associated with it is really interesting. There could be like a, I don't know, Naked Gun sneak. Maybe, probably not, but there's a chance. Anyways, that's about it. Fantastic Four is alright. Go see it if you want, I guess. But yeah, see you next time.